All right, this will be the first landscape that I show you. This one, I just made it up. It's very basic. There are just layers of mountains in the distance. So we have mountains in the background, mountains in the middle ground, and then we have some trees in the foreground, some evergreens. I'll go over it a little bit darker so that you can see. So I'm not really thinking too hard about these lines. So 3 of those kind of squiggly lines for the mountains as I'm coming closer to my foreground, working my way down. And then I have one here, and then these trees. If you're stuck on how to draw evergreens, I would just suggest making straight lines like this, and then the squiggles for the side of it, kind of like a triangle shape. Yeah, quite informal, so don't stress too much about these. This is a lot darker than what ideally you guys would have because we're using these types of paint, the pencil lines will easily show through. But mine, I just want to make it a little bit darker so that you guys can see. And this one I'm going to make quite monochromatic. I think I'm going to stick with my browns for this one. I may throw in a little bit of like the turmeric for a little bit of like a yellowness to it, or maybe even some of the smoked paprika to give it more of like a burnt brown look. So I'm going to start first with my background because we always want to work from the back to the front because you don't want to do all of this detail work first and then realize that, oh no, what am I going to do now with the stuff that's in behind, right? So start with the top and work your way down. I'm going to make the sky just very light. So I'm just going to give it like a watered down kind of brown look right now because I want it to be fairly light. I'm working on Bristol board paper because I had some left over. So I just cut it up into roughly the shape that I needed. You may want to tape down your paper to either a book or a binder or something because it will start to buckle on you and curl and wave. So that's the first layer. Now I'm going to take some more of my espresso and I'm just going to go around the edge of my back mountain because that will be the darkest part of the mountain. And then I'm going to blend that pigment downwards. So I'm essentially creating kind of like this value scale where it's darker at the tip of my mountain and a little bit lighter down here. And just keep in mind that this is the first layer. So if you're not completely happy with the intensity of your color, remember you can let it dry and then add some more after. And that's actually a good idea to let it dry because if I now add some paint down to the bottom here, it may bleed into a section of my painting that I don't necessarily want it to bleed into. So if you want to like keep a nice crisp edge, you should really let it dry in between layers. Like you can kind of see the bleeding that happened here from where I put the paint on the tip of my mountain and where it touched the sky and the two kind of blended together, which isn't necessarily what I was going for. So I'm going to have to let this dry and then do another coat afterwards.